have a lot of non-English speaking students that are following us, and we're currently trying to kind of work on producing a little bit more English language content. So I'm wondering if you have any advice. I know you do have a few videos on your channel about how to learn English. So my first question, I guess, it's kind of a two-part question. My first would be, do you have any advice for students who are looking to learn English? And the second one would be, do you have any advice? I get this question a lot when I do my live sessions on Instagram, which is, do you have any advice around how not to think in your native language? Do you know what I mean? So learning how to think in English. So that's a
Correct.
two-part question, I guess, if you
Right, of course. So again, like, since I'm from India, this is like a very big problem here. And it's not only because our native language is not English. It's not because we don't have enough English speaking people or schools or curriculum or learning experiences.
Right.
It's solely here. It's because
Okay.
people are afraid. They're scared of making
Absolutely.
mistakes. They feel like, oh, like, I don't know it yet, I've not learned it yet, so I'm going to make a mistake and people are going to laugh. And what they fail to understand or realize is that every person who has been born and brought up in India, none of us have started speaking English when we were born. We learned it up. It's not our native language. Forget the people who are outside of India, Indians outside of India, forget them. But the people over here, even I'm not a native speaker. My native language is different. So I'm not perfect, I'm learning. That's number one. About thinking in English, it comes from listening. So since your native language is English, or any native English speaker, if you ask any kid before they join school, proper education school, before that they can at least speak a couple of sentences in English. They can communicate. How did they learn that? They learned that by listening.
Right.
So I tell people, you have to put English inside your lifestyle. You have to read, write, listen, watch. And very simply, if you can just pick out a couple of songs, put it in your earplugs, start humming them. Start understanding the way they pronounce the words, the way the flow goes, and very simple things. Because if somebody teaches English like in a very formatable manner, like, Z is not Z, it's Z, it's a little bit of a boring. It has to be a bit interactive. The learning has to be experiential. So always tell them, start watching. The best advice I always give is like, start watching Friends.
Right.
Start watching
Absolutely.
Friends, right? Turn on the subtitles at first. Watch one episode with the subtitles on, and watch it again, because you're not going to get bored. Watch it again with the subtitles off, and then watch it again without any volume. Understand the body language, understand how they communicate, right? So a lot of learning goes, and it starts from understanding that this is just something you have to learn. First, there is no option. It's the global language all across India. Forget the world again. All across India, there are so many languages we speak, so many languages. The only thing that binds us is this language, English. The only thing, how we form relationships, is via communication. If I can't communicate with you, I can't form a bond with you, right? So it's done via English. So there's no way out. There's no excuse. There's no reason not to learn it. You have to learn it. And again, each one of us has done it. What makes you feel you can't do it? Just do it. Just learn it up.
No, that's awesome advice, and I'm glad to hear that I'm on the right track, because I don't really, I'm a native English speaker, so I can provide some support. But those are kind of the things that I say too. And a lot of people do say, like you say, it's fear-based. It's people are nervous to speak English and make a mistake. But like you say, I feel like English, because it's now a global language, it's going to start shifting really rapidly. And we're all going to have the shared way of speaking, but I think it's going to change. The language is going to change, because that's what language does over time. It takes a while for it to change, but we're all going to have different ways of speaking. I'm from the East Coast of Canada, and I have a maritime accent. People, if someone lives across the country, they're going to speak differently than I do. And I think that, it's about learning the language, and it's about the communication process. So thank you so much.
Definitely.
sharing that.